My name's David Johnson, and thank you for watching the Asian Kop.
Alan Kennedy. Johnson! David Johnson scores for Liverpool. Dalglish. Johnson's in there. Johnson's still in there. It's a goal!
In extra gear. Perhaps putting Dalglish in here. And selfishly setting up Johnson.
The very first interview for the Asian Kop with a legend, a Liverpool legend and a great ambassador for Liverpool Football Club, David Johnson. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine, you know. It's late in life, you know, and I'm enjoying myself. It's really good.
It's absolutely great to see. As I said off to you off camera, I realised on the car here, it's been 35 years, nearly to the day, that you signed for Liverpool Football Club.
Yeah, and it's nearly 60 years to the day that I've been a Liverpool supporter. But
Wow.
It was a long way. It was a long time coming round before I actually signed for Liverpool in 1976. I'm from Liverpool, Merseyside born and bred, and if you come from this area, it's normally your dad or your brothers determine which team you support. My brothers took me to Anfield. That was my team. My idol obviously was Bill Shankly. I believed him when he stood on the steps. And he said, I'm going to make Liverpool a bastion of invincibility, and I believed him. And I stood on the Kop with my brothers and watched the 60s side. My hero obviously was Ian St John and Roger Hunt, more Roger Hunt, and I dreamt a dream. You know, I dreamt of playing for them, but I did it in a circuitous sort of route because I went by Everton and then Ipswich. But in 1976, my dream came true for me. I got the opportunity and jumped at it.
Absolutely. As Liverpool fans, we always dream, have been and to this day are dreaming of walking on to that Anfield turf. What was it like for you at that moment when you first walked onto that Anfield turf?
You can't put it into words. You know, if I could do that and bottle it, I'd be a billionaire, trillionaire. But I actually do that. When I have a group of people, I say, have you ever dreamt of going into that dressing room and putting the kit on a match day? Yeah. And of course they'll say yes. Have you ever dreamt of coming out of that dressing room and touching that famous sign before going out onto the pitch? Of course they have. Walking out when they're singing "You Never Walk Alone" on a glorious day, and it's a big game, and going out onto that pitch, and it's a magnificence. And I'm sure every Liverpool supporter in the world has dreamt of attacking the Kop end and scoring, and running away, and hearing the Kop shout your name.
Absolutely.
I've done that, and I can't put it into words. I can't put it any better than that. It's every single Kopite has dreamt that dream, and to have actually fulfilled it, it's just unbelievable.
Johnson running well up front. Oh, that's a superb ball to find him by McDermott, and Johnson could be in here, and he is.
At the top, I mentioned that you're a great ambassador, and you've on and off the field been a consummate professional. You've worked in communities where there've been predominantly a lot of Asians, like Southall with Channel Gill with the Elite Academy, in Malaysia and Singapore. What a two-pronged question, I suppose. What did you learn about yourself and Liverpool Football Club while working in those communities?
I think it was just part of me anyway. To be a professional footballer, you can't make somebody. It has to be in there already. You can teach somebody to control a ball. You can teach somebody to pass a ball. But that secret ingredient which makes you a professional footballer, where you go the extra yard, I think that's already in there, and you can't put it in there. If it's there, great, you can mature it, but you can't teach that. So for me to be a professional footballer, and when I finished, it was a big hole in my life, and I went into financial services. I didn't stay in football, and then very, very slowly I started doing things with Alan Kennedy, where we did soccer camps locally, and then it just grew from there. We started going to Barbados and developing it a little bit more, and Rick Parry identified it. He thought it was a good product, and we call it a soccer camp as opposed to a soccer school or a soccer academy. I don't want to be associated with a soccer school or academy, because by definition you're wanting the kids to improve. You're wanting the kids to go into the academy, which is like the university of football, right. And only the best get in there. don't want that. I want to teach kids the enjoyment of football and no pressure. So if they come on one of our soccer camps, it doesn't matter about his ability. Our main aim is to make sure that they enjoy it. They go home with a smile on their face and want to come back the next day. So there's no pressure on the kids whatsoever to improve. And normally we only do 3, 4 or 5 day camps anyway. And it doesn't take a genius to say that we're not that good. We can't improve your kid in 5 days. What we try to do is plant a couple of seeds, and if they go away and improve themselves, well then it's a success.
Right. And what did you learn about the power of Liverpool Football Club in communities like Southall and places in Singapore and Kuala Lumpur and things like that?
Well, it's a global brand. It's one of them. I'd say one of the 3, maybe 4 recognised clubs all over the world, and to be part of that and its history is something special. But I emphasise I wear that badge with pride, and I still do, and I'm proud to have played for them. But our soccer camp is the Liverpool Way, but it's our camp. It's nothing to do with Liverpool Football Club. It's not an avenue into their schools or academies. They recognise that we are ambassadors of the football club. Certainly when Rick Parry was chief exec, he recognised it and gave us full backing. Obviously it's a powerful brand, and they've got people within the football club now, and they want money for that brand. You know, we're not in a position to pay Liverpool Football Club to use it. We use it because we wore it with pride.
Absolutely.
So ours is the Liverpool Way soccer camp, but it's my soccer camp. It's nothing to do with Liverpool.
That was the next question to be about. Tell us about the Liverpool Way, because I find that it's a very interesting phrase. It's great. It sums up Liverpool. There is a Liverpool Way. There's a culture about Liverpool fans. So if you could expand on that, it'd be great.
Well, I was brought up with some great managers and some great coaches. Started with Everton under Harry Catterick, went on to Bobby Robson, who was the most enjoyable manager I worked under. Great man, loved him to death. And then obviously you joined Liverpool, and all the things that I was taught from other clubs sort of wasn't used at Anfield. It wasn't used at Liverpool. They signed intelligent footballers who knew all about football and let you play yourself. And they just fine-tuned it. We didn't go into training and have hours and hours and hours of tactical training and set moves. We just played, and that for me was the Liverpool way. Go out and express yourself, but not individually, as a team.
Phil Neal covering for him in the middle. Ball comes loose to Alan Kennedy. Now Johnson. McDermott back to Johnson. Johnson's shot in. 1-0.
Absolutely. You worked under possibly one of the greatest managers produced in British football, Bob Paisley. Bill Shankly tried to sign you on a number of occasions. Yeah. I think it was 4 times he tried to, even when you were at Ipswich.
Well, if I was honest, I haven't got many disappointments in football, and professionally that's probably one of them. I'm so envious when we get together. We've got a former players association, and when some of the 60s lads who played under Shanks talk about how he was, and I'm so envious because I missed that opportunity of actually being managed by Shanks. But Bob Paisley was a different character. He had the ability to spot players and build football teams. He didn't have the vocab. He didn't have that way of expressing himself. He wasn't a man of words. And getting back to one of your earlier questions, which is the Liverpool way, he actually said to us one day, he said, it's a simple game, complicated by managers and players. You know, get the ball, pass it, and play with a smile on your face. And that's what we try to emphasise in our camps as well.
Is that what made Bob Paisley so special, though? He made things so simple.
Well, as I've just touched on it briefly, there's checkbook managers. There are managers who can go out and say, you're the best goalkeeper, best right back, 2 centre-halves, left back, and go through the team and buy all the best players. That doesn't always necessarily say they're going to be the best team. Bob Paisley had the ability to identify a great player, but leave him where he was, by somebody who probably wasn't as good as, but slotted in to make an exceptional football team, because he was part of the team. And that's the ability that Bob Paisley had, because he didn't just do it with one team. He reconstructed it about 4 times and continued winning trophies, and that's what made him. That's what set him aside from any other managers.
79-80 season, you scored, I think, 27 goals, I believe, in 54 games. What do you remember about that season? Because you scored a lot of goals. That's a good ratio.
Well, Kenny and myself formed a great partnership that year. We scored 55 goals between us, and it was just one of those magical times, you know, where you went out and it wasn't just about me, it was about the team. As I've said to you, I think that was the season when we broke all the records, and it was a case of you just got into that unbelievable routine where it wasn't are we going to win, it was how many we were going to win by, and it was just an amazing feeling that when you went out we just knew we were invincible.
When was the first time you encountered your first Asian Liverpool fan?
Oh, that's a good question. Do you know what? I couldn't quite honestly. I think it was China.
Yeah.
China was my first fan.
But when did you realise, say, that Liverpool Football Club had such a huge Asian following?
You know, you cocooned a little bit when you're a player. It wasn't until you finished that you realised what a global team Liverpool was. Because we travelled and all we saw of supporters was when we walked out onto the pitch. So you didn't see them, you didn't mingle with them. I mingle more with the supporters now. And certainly working for the football club on match days, the amount of support we've got globally is phenomenal. You know, wherever we go, even as a Legends football team, when we travel away and we play, it doesn't matter if we play against another Legends football team, we'll just mention Manchester United, even though it hurts me to mention them. But we mention them, and wherever we go, we've always got more support than them, and they're supposed to be a bigger football club. Not at all. Liverpool Football Club has the biggest following of support all over the world.
Greatest goal of your career?
Oh, again, another difficult one. There's so many that even look back. I mean, for different reasons. I played against Argentina for my country. So you play for your country and playing against world champions. Maradona played, and we beat them 3-1. And I scored a diving header. And Geoff Hurst came up to me afterwards and said that's the best header goal he's seen at Wembley. So for him to say that and scored a hat-trick in a World Cup final was something special for someone of that calibre to say it. And then another one was we played Aston Villa and we had to beat them on the Saturday to win the championship, but we'd just been beaten by Arsenal after the fourth game in the semi-final of the FA Cup, and the game was on the Thursday and we got beat 1-0, and the disappointment of getting beaten in the semi-final of the FA Cup is, I mean, the dressing room was devastated. We had to build ourselves up and play this game on the Saturday, and we beat Aston Villa 4-1, and I scored a left footer top corner of the Kop end, and John Motson, who's a very famous commentator, I've got it on tape, and he said, and that's the championship, which immediately reminded me of the 66 World Cup, when the commentator said, there's people on the pitch, do you think it's all over? And Geoff Hurst scored the goal and he said, it is now. So it was very similar, and that's why I linked those two goals together.
As soon as wants it played in, there he is. Touched off for David Johnson. Oh! That's the championship.
Now the new season started. You play with Kenny. Are you excited about any of the new signings that we have? If so, which ones?
Yeah, I'm obviously, being a Liverpool supporter, you look forward to the start of the season and you have those same sort of, this year is going to be different, we're going to win it. And he's made some good signings. I'm particularly impressed with Suarez. You know, but the question let's put it this way, with all my heart, I'm hoping that the formation between Andy Carroll and Suarez is a winning formation for us. But the question I ask myself is that, you know, I'm looking at a camera, you know, if anyone listens to this, so, you know, the type of football you want to watch. You know, do you want to watch an aerial game, or do you want to watch football on the ground the way Barcelona play it? And I think the majority of people will say they love the way that Barcelona play. And with that in mind, then we've got a 6'4" guy who wants it in the air. So to me, I just hope it works, and I'm certainly going to be a potent force this season. But is it, is it the type of football that's going to win it for us? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.